back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, May 24th, 2018. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. The way the women's physique division is lately, it almost feels like there's no margin of error at some of these shows now. But when you've got the confidence of a few wins and a few trips to the Olympia stage under your belt, like Zoa Linsey does, well, I guess you learn not to sweat the small stuff. This week we saw the veteran drop a few new updates to show off some of the fresh off-season progress she's been working on lately. Last year it seems like Linsey was one of the busiest women in the division, because every time you turned around, there she was in the top 10 at another show. So you can rest assured that whenever she decides to get this thing going again this season, she'll find a way to make her presence felt, whatever she ends up doing. If you want to crack the top 10 at the Bikini Olympia this year, you better be prepared to put in some serious sweat equity over these next few months. But in case you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you can just watch and learn from perennial title threat Liz Yisrael. This week, one of the hardest working women in the division was spotted putting in a little bit of OT at the office as she gears up for what many believe will be a deep Olympia run later in the year. Over the last 18 months, Yisrael has done a great job in turning herself into one of the most dangerous athletes in the division. And I'm sure she'd love nothing more than to cap off this incredible season she's having with a top 3 finish on the biggest stage in the sport. In the immortal words of the great LL Cool J, don't call it a comeback. Or at least that seems to be the theme coming from Alexis For Loan and his crew right now. Almost a full year removed from the last time we saw him on an IFBB stage, the pride of Puerto Rico is ready to come back and put his many talents on display again. The latest updates from the Rolon camp show the former NPC national champ looking as dangerous as ever, which is probably bad news for whoever he's targeted on his radar. The transformation that this guy has been able to make over the last 18 months is nothing short of incredible. And now that he's already come this far, it's hard to imagine that he'd have any plans of slowing down now that the finish line is finally in sight. Sometimes you hear older people say that youth is wasted on the young, but I can promise you that no one is thinking that about newly minted classic physique pro Jonathan Hambrick. Last weekend, Hambrick became the youngest athlete in the pro division when he punched his ticket to the big leagues at the Junior USAs, where he won the overall in the classic physique division at the ripe old age of 20 years old. And what might be even more amazing about this kid is the fact that he's managed to do this in just his second contest ever, only 7 days after he actually started competing. Only time will tell what his future holds, but at least in the early going, it looks like it's going to be one hell of a ride. In case you haven't heard, we've got an epic battle going down less than 2 weeks from now north of the border, when some of the best in the business all make their way into Canada to square off at this year's Toronto Pro, which is where it looks like we'll get our next chance to see Logan Franklin bring his talents to the stage. This week, Team Franklin released their latest update as they head down the home stretch to Phase 3 of their contest season. True to form, Franklin seems like he's on pace to be in tip-top shape for his first trip to the Great North, where he should be one of the serious contenders for the title. And as long as he can figure out how to walk that fine line between fullness and conditioning, I think he stands as good a chance as anyone to have his hand raised as the last man standing when it's all said and done. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.